NBC, and we're the company that's aiming to restore and bring brewing back to the Albion Brewery. And I'm standing here in the cellar of the Albion Brewery, and I've got my right foot on the wellhead, or the block of stone that was put over it, I suppose, many decades ago. One of the interesting things about this building is that it has access to the original King's Well, which is the street outside. And as the name suggests, it's a medieval well, one of the best wells in Northampton. We presume that the water was considered so superior that it was dragged up the hill to the castle for the kings. And it was certainly the reason why so many breweries gathered around this area: Bridge Street, Kingswell Street. You had the Lion Brewery just over in Far Cotton, you had Phipps at the bottom, NBC, and Ratliff and Jeffries, where we're standing now. For us it's great. We're going to hopefully use this water. We've had it tested. We'll use it for a specific brew. And one of the lovely stories that was told to us by an old Phipps brewer who was working in Bridge Street in the 60s is that he was working alongside a very old Ratliff and Jeffrey brewer who'd been taken on by Phipps when they shut this brewery in 1919. And he said at the end of brewing here, there was a tradition that old breweries did at the time. They took a barrel of the last brew and they lowered it down the well, capped the well off, as an offering to the water spirits that had given life and water and brewing success to the company. Unfortunately, that wasn't this particular wellhead. It's one that's under the Aspas Casino, because the rest of the brewery was there. But the Albion well is a great well. It'd be very nice to have a pint of beer made with Albion water, possibly some Albion mineral water. And it just gives this brewery just one of those many little added extras that you don't get in other breweries.
My name's Mike Teaster, and this is our tunnel under our building. And we discovered it in about the 1980s. We always knew that this part of the building had a bricked up doorway, and we unblocked the bricked up doorway around about mid-1980s, and we discovered it was this pit, which we never knew existed, and it was full of bottles from sort of right up to the sort of 6 feet down the walls were old lemonade crystal bottles. And they date back to James Brothers, who was a grocery firm, and they produced a little product called lemonade crystals that you add water to, tip them into a water jug, and produce your own lemonade. And there were thousands, probably 5,000 or 10,000 in here. We were flabbergasted. And the other thing that this tunnel had was water in it. So because originally we used to use the water, so because it was a brewery, we used a lot of water. Since they stopped using the water and there was less manufacturing, the water table has risen. And so the water comes up in this basement right up to this end, and at the end of it could be 2 feet deep. And this tunnel that I'm standing in, used to be much, much bigger, because the other part of the building, which was knocked down, which is now where Aspas Casino is, had tunnels underneath it as well. So at the right at the bottom of this tunnel, it would go to the right and it would be double the width. And the water, you had sort of 2 feet of water all the way down it. So we really had an unusual situation whereby we used to take, when I was much younger, we used to go raft under it, because obviously this being a leather factory had lots of old barrels. So there was a time in the past where we used to raft under their building, and you could raft all the way around. So it was a bit like a sort of Venetian, some strange Venetian building, so that you could travel under the neighbouring building on a raft.